Morning, boys and girls. My name's Dan. I'm with the Rose Family Homestead, and I am absolutely sick of my sheep getting out of their electric fence. So today I'm going to show you how I was able to figure out what's going on with my situation. Hopefully help some of you guys that also deal with this electric fencing figure out, diagnose your ground system, and show you guys how to make a repair. Alright, so if you guys have seen some of our previous videos, you know that we use a lot of the Premier 1 sheep fencing. However, now it's getting to be winter time. It's my first year having sheep during the winter. I want to come up with an easier system to move where I'm not out here every other day moving sheep in the winter. So we went with a polybraid system. I've actually upgraded this since the start of my problems. I had Tractor Supply, just some cheapo wire. I have since bought some of this Polyflex multi metal wire. Has different kinds of strands of wire in it. It's supposed to be top of the line. Bought that, still continuing to have problems, but I think we finally got it figured out, and I'm going to show you guys how to diagnose the ground side of your fence systems. Alright, as you guys can see, we're at the uphill side of our fence. You'll want to get at one of the furthest points in your fence from your Energizer. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a dead short up here at the fence. Okay, all we're going to do to create a short is we're going to take a metal rod. We're going to, of course, make it contact our fence. I'm just going to wrap it around here, and then we're going to simply step it in the ground, creating a short. Just like that. Okay, so our short has been created up there at the top. I don't know if you can see that post or not. And we're back down here by our charger. Now I'm going to show you the test results I was getting, how I originally had this set up. Now Premier 1 with their 120X, they give you an 18-inch ground rod to put into the ground. That might be fine if you're just doing a short section of their netting, but whenever you're starting to span a larger area, or if you're like us here in the mountains of Pennsylvania, the soil here is terribly rocky, or if you're in a very dry climate, you may have to improve your ground system, as I do. Okay, so right now I have the ground of my charger set to this 18-inch post that came from Premier 1. Now, whenever I was doing some research trying to find the spec for this this measurement, I was getting anywhere from 200 to 500 volts. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a measurement right here on the ground post, and we're basically showing the voltage that's lost through a high resistance in the ground. So I'm going to put my post off of my tester into the ground. We're going to turn on our charger, and we're going to get a reading here. Hopefully I can get this to show up good for you. Alright, so right there we're showing, looks like 4.5 kilovolts. So 4,000, almost 600 volts. And like I said, our spec is 2 to 500 volts. So I should only be seeing 0.2 to 0.5 kilovolts on this reading. So we have a major resistance problem going on here, and I'm losing a pile of energy through my ground system. All right, guys, so before we get into taking a measurement, let's talk a little bit about ground rods. Now, I know some of the men that are watching this channel are going to look at these rods and they're going to say, what the heck, that ain't right. Put your purse down and hit that thing. Unfortunately, in a perfect world, we'd be able to take this 8-foot rod and beat it all the way into the ground, leave a 2-inch stub with a claw hammer. Unfortunately, that's not my situation. Like I said, we have some big rocks up here that actually you need an excavator to remove. So I'm beating these things in as far as I can. I'm not happy with this one. I got the other one in a little over 7 foot, luckily. This one here, not so much. I think I got 5, I believe. Ideally, you want at least 6 foot in, but if you can't get it, you can't get it. What ultimately matters is the math and the measurement. Yeah, there's 3 foot sticking up, so I got 5 foot in. As long as I'm seeing these resistance come within spec, that's all I care about. To see an improvement in the performance of my fence, that's all I care about. I'll cut these things off. It is what it is, and we're gonna move on. All right, so we now have the ground of our charger hooked to one of the grounding rods that we got from Tractor Supply. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the charger on and try to get you guys a reading here. Same deal. So 0.94 kilovolts, so we're down to roughly 940 volts. Huge improvement from the, was it 4,600 or so we were seeing earlier. Now, whenever I did this the first time, like I said, I installed one rod, this one that went 7 foot in. I had a measurement of, I believe, 1,300 volts before I tied in this second wire. The second post. So we're going to put a third in, see if we can happen to get down below that 500 mark, and hopefully then call it good. All right, now they say ideally you want these 10 foot apart from each other at least. I'm not really measuring, just kind of winging it. I mean, I know I'm further than 10 feet. So we're going to work on getting this thing beat in. Hopefully it doesn't fight me too much. I know they've been a lot of work to get in. This thing here, definitely worth the money. Cheapie from Tractor Supply, works pretty good though. Starting to get into something solid. All right, just over 45.5 inches. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna whack her 10 or 12 more times. We'll measure again and see if we're still going in the right direction or not. I don't know, don't feel very good about that. Now, it ain't moving. Nope, none. Well, this rocky soil. All right, folks, so unfortunately, that 4 foot is about all that rod is gonna go in the ground. I cannot bust through whatever rock is down there. And those poles aren't exactly easy to extract. So it kind of is what it is. We're gonna go ahead and take another measurement, see if we had any improvement from the 940 volts that we had with our last reading. Whoop. Help if I turn the charger on. And we had a slight improvement. We're at 850 now. So, an improvement, not exactly as good as I was hoping to see. I'm not adding any more ground rods. We're gonna go with that 850 on the ground side, give it a try. I already know that there's a pretty big improvement on the shock. Before I could grab a hold of this wire and just barely feel it hitting me. So now you don't exactly want to touch it. It's not going to light you up, like curl you over, but it's definitely unpleasant. So we're going to go with that and see how the sheep do inside of their pen now. Okay, so here's one more little test I want to do. I hadn't done yet. I got it back on that 18-inch spike and just walked down here a piece, and I'm going to measure this second wire up, which is where I have the power clip, and we'll see what kind of reading we get. Voltage on the line. Is that right? Looks like 8 kilovolts. Now let's see what happens if we switch it off and put the ground on here. See what we get. That same point. $13. So definitely an improvement. I was walking around taking some measurements with that earlier. It kind of threw me off. I had the thing running for a while and I was getting that's like 6 kilovolts at this point with it on the 18-inch, and then I would get 10 once I'd switch it. So it kind of threw me off there with my measurement. I guess, you know, the battery at certain states of charge, if it's been off for a little bit and then turned back on, you might get a slightly different reading. But either way, we're still looking about a 4 kV difference between being hooked up to our new ground system and that 18-inch rod. So I'll take it. All right, folks, that pretty much sums it up. So I'm anxious to get the sheep back out here in the field. Right now they're just in that pen. You saw here in the beginning, I rented a ram off of a friend and we're breeding them. So he's now been in there with them for a few weeks, and it's about time for him to hit the trail and get the girls back out here. But I knew I needed to improve their fence before I get them back out here. Like I said, I'm tired of them jailbreaking on me. So if you guys learned anything, hopefully you did, learn how to test your fence's ground system, do me a solid, hit the like button, consider subscribing. We're going to keep putting out some more content. It's been a little while since I put anything out. My son was born on Thanksgiving Day, so we have been very crazy busy with the holidays, like I said, my son being born, and but we got some more stuff coming out, and like I said, I hope you guys stay tuned. Thanks.